Initiating broadcast signal in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, this is the Nerd World Order broadcast. I am the man that you call Dukes, and to my right, it's all about the...
Booyah, what's up? It's your boy Joe, baby.
And to my other right, weighing in at 178 adamantium field pounds, Alfonso X-Man Flores.
Eyes of Wakanda, give me sight beyond sight.
Yes, we are going to be discussing those beautiful eyes of Wakanda. This is going to be a very spoiler-filled discussion about this animated achievement that is Eyes of Wakanda. So if you haven't watched it, you might want to hit pause and come back in a few minutes so that you can have a conversation with us. Or if you don't care about spoilers, then we can get ready to rock. But before we get ready to rock, I did want to say hello and a thank you for subscribing to one of our newest subscribers. Shout out to Jaquan Barnes. Thank you very much for subscribing. And Jaquan actually has his own YouTube channel, which I'd recommend all of you to check out. He already has almost as many subscribers as us, and he already has 58 videos for you guys to watch. So it's Jaquan Barnes 4595 over at the YouTubes, and I will go ahead and put his link in the descript. Shout out to Jaquan. Yeah, man, keep doing your thing, brother. So let's get into the other brothers, and those brothers are the brothers of Wakanda. Eyes of Wakanda. There's a huge problem with Eyes of Wakanda that this show did not get the publicity that this movie deserved. I feel like if we're gonna compare apples to apples, let's look what Hulu did over at Hulu. Hulu's at Hulu. You can tell I'm just on all cylinders today. Hulu over at Hulu really promoted Killer of Killers, right? And if we look at Max and we look at Creature Commandos, the buzz was there. People were talking about it. You could see articles online, everything like that. Now this movie, this show, Alan's thinking so well today. This show, there was nothing. You know, I found out about it because Alfonso was like, "Hey, my Wakandan brothers, have you seen Eyes of Wakanda?" And I was like, "Nope." And then I watched it before him. So, going into this, I wasn't expecting much. I don't like that animation style. It felt very, and Joe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it felt very Clone Wars. If it wasn't Clone Wars, it was the one before it, where everyone's got those elongated features. I'm not trying to look at no mutated faces for 4 hours. So yeah, I didn't really care to watch it. That was my initial thing. I was like, hey, if Alfonso didn't say we have to watch this, then I probably wouldn't have watched it for a few more weeks still. Alfonso, what was your anticipation going into this?
Oh, I was heavily anticipating it. I've been hearing about this for quite a while because I also listened to Kevin Smith's podcast, Fat Man Beyond, and his co-host Mark Bernardin. He is actually one of the writers and co-producers on this. So he hasn't given us a lot. You know, he's dropping the hint that he goes, "I'm working on something, you know, for Wakanda, and it's a coming." And then, like little by little, you hear and you put things together on the internet. But it's like you're right. You didn't hear it a lot. And as far as the art style goes, man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take it way back. But do you remember watching Good Times? Jimmy Walker, his artwork. You know, that's what this reminded me of. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, this isn't bad. You know, it's like a velvet painting from back in the 80s.
Dang.
Yeah.
Taking it back. How about you, Joe?
Yeah, I didn't care too much for the art. Like I'm like the elongated phases, as long as the mask that they're wearing, I wasn't really feeling that.
Yeah.
The coloring though, I thought was pretty cool. Like the visuals of the colors of the the outfits and stuff like that. And the first, bro, like I get, it's a good concept of artifacts, that get stolen or lost, and they got to go retrieve them. But I'd like to know how that happened in the first place. Like I felt like they're chasing stuff, and I'm like, okay, but how did it get there, right? Because I'm like, all right, you're getting this little vibranium, but how did it get over there? Like, who? I get the first episode where the guy says, "I want to be out here, I want to be free." I get that he could have stole some artifacts or whatever, but you're chasing different timelines and stuff. Like, I'm like, okay, Fat Man and Beyonder, whatever that podcast is. Maybe we could stick to podcast or be better story writer. I mean, I don't want to be a hater, but like, I know you went to that show one time, Alf. Next time they tell them, hey, make it make sense, bro. Like I know things write itself, but right there it didn't write anything, bro. Like I'm
Wow.
confused unless I missed something. Because I feel like if I'm not engaged enough, I could have missed something, and maybe they explained it in there. You guys can tell me. I felt like they didn't.
Come on, Alfonso, save us.
What you think
But
about that,
this
Alf?
time you should definitely. I want to hear what you have to say, Alfonso.
Let me speak up and turn my mic back on. So I mean, yeah, you're right. You know, the artifacts somehow go missing and they've got to be found. Whether it's they were stolen, they were lost, or I mean, the way we got vibranium was through a meteor shower. So like pieces and bits get scattered everywhere, and people get a hold of them and they do what they do with them. So it's like, well, if people find out that there is vibranium out there and you can do these things with it, then it can compromise us because they'll start following, the trails. So let's get it all back. Let's get it all back under wraps so people aren't out there looking for it. And luckily, nobody really knew what they did. You got your first episode, where the guy was basically he was a pirate. He was out there looking for the artifacts, but he started to use the powers and basically bring Wakanda out to light. So it's like they had to shut that down. They had to shut that down so that way, you didn't have everything out there and people, start to ask the questions. If like nobody knows it exists, that's one thing. But if there's hints and allegations to it, then they're going to be like, ooh, we got to find us some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's 100% right. There was a point, I think, in maybe the second episode, I was like, well, how'd they get it? But it's one of those things where you think about it and then you think they're going to explain it later. So I just moved on with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like, okay, the only way that the entire premise of this show makes sense is if there was a period of time where Wakanda was exposed to the rest of the world. And the colonizers went in and looted everything. And then that's why Wakanda is so cut off. Now, had they done that, that would make that would be awesome. Because to Joe's point, how'd you get it? Because go ahead, Joe.
I that would be dope, but that's not gonna work, bro. If they got colonized, they take everything. So it's no
Hey,
it's a wrap,
I'm grasping at straws, bro. I'm trying to make it make sense,
bro.
Yeah.
So I'll try to save it, but the meteor, from what I understood, went to that one little spot in Africa, bro, and it broke off to Wakanda.
Yeah, but there's remnants.
From where, bro? In Japan? So you telling me from Africa all over? No, dude, come on, you're reaching, bro. Yeah, you're Mr. Fantastic right now. You're reaching and it's stretching too much where you're screaming like Mr. Reed right now, bro. Because that's just not working for me, bro. It also like it's trace it back to Wakanda, bro. They got the shield, bro. They're never gonna find it. The illusion there, like they're not gonna walk straight through it. So like I don't understand. It almost proves Michael B. Jordan's thing. Like, his whole thing was like, you sheltered off from the world. You could have been helping out Africa. You could have been helping out everybody. But you chose to just help out yourselves. And the guy in the first episode, he felt the same way, bro. Like he's out there, like, even though his thing was like conquering, but what people don't do that, conquer it and then reculture them, feed them and clothe them and then make them part of, it's been like that to the whole time of humanity, bro. Like, so like when I saw that, I was thinking, dude, it's same philosophy, right? As Michael B. Jordan's character, Killmonger, so it almost makes you think, is Wakanda right? You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, even like um Bozeman, even his character was like, "Yo, like we got to change. We got to help out the world now." You know, even he knew it was wrong. You know, it took that long for them to realize, "Oh, hey,
Mhm.
maybe we should change it and do something about it," right?
Right.
And it makes you wonder, like, from Star Wars, are the Jedi really right or they're really wrong? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that
Right.
argument. That's the way I took it from it, you know. And then like the probably my favorite episode is Iron Fist when Iron Fist was in
Well,
there. That was
hold on,
dope.
hold on, hold on. Why don't we go episode by episode? Because like if we get into Iron Fist too much, we won't talk too much about the first episode.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the
No, no,
first
no,
episode.
no. Exactly. Because it's not
Okay.
worth it.
Oh, fine. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. I won't bring it.
What's the name
Go
of the
ahead.
first
We,
episode?
I
we can
guess
talk
it
about
really
it.
doesn't matter. Yeah. Come on.
It didn't get good to like the third. I think the third was probably my favorite, but I digress.
Okay. So tell us about the third.
No. What's the name of the first episode, Alfonso?
Oh, I mean, if it matters. Okay. The first episode, Into the Lion's Den. All right. Into the Lion's Den brings us into the world of the war dogs. We start to learn what the war dogs are. Originally started with, oh my gosh, what is she called again?
A
The
war
Dora
dog.
Milaje. Yeah, no,
war
she was
dog.
a Dora Milaje who had been disgraced and kind of went off, and they brought her back in because she was not trained by this guy who ends up becoming the Golden Lion, right? And you know, like you were saying, Joe, this guy, I don't think he was really a bad dude. He was going around. Yeah, he was conquering people, but he was sheltering them. You know, he wasn't out to kill everybody. He was out to give them better lives, better technology, more food. You know, he didn't want people to starve. And it's like, you know, he just put himself on top for that, which, you know, somebody's got to be on top. Might as well be the person who's providing everything. So, like you're right, like Michael B. Jordan, I don't think that character was entirely bad. Um, the Wakandans, they had that complete tradition of just like, you know, cutting it out and like cutting everybody out, and it's just all about them, and it's selfish and greedy, and you know, I mean, it it's tough. It's tough because you want your people to flourish. You do. You don't want people coming in to steal your stuff. But at the same time, you know, it's like you got to have some sympathy for the rest of the world. And that's kind of what the Golden Lion was doing. And you know, I would say this is kind of like the pirate episode. You know, he was out there on a ship and he was going. And the other thing is when everything went down and the ship was destroyed, all of that stuff just fell to the bottom of the ocean. Is that where Namor's people got it from? Because they got it at the bottom of the ocean, or maybe it was actually more meteorites that broke off and fell somewhere else. Wait a minute, that's what they said. So it is possible. I mean, not all meteors are going to land in the same spot.
No, because they were going after their own artifacts.
Yeah.
They it wasn't like they had this at that point.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have Riri Williams making a vibranium detector, right?
No,
Mhm.
right,
They weren't going after their own. They
right,
were going after their own artifacts.
right.
So we can't say, well, a meteor crashed somewhere, because even if the meteor crashed somewhere, these things were already fabricated. Everything they went after were
Yeah,
fabricated,
yeah.
which means that, which also didn't make sense, because like let's jump to, let's see here, the let's say the second episode. I don't want to go through it very much, but I'll
No
just say
problem.
this: how did they make that? Like, is vibranium strong or is it not strong? How did those people throughout all of these episodes, they
Mhm.
either had to have found those things, like how do you find a dragon's tongue
Right.
in Wakanda and then
Mhm.
steal it? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Which means that these people had to craft that stuff. How
Right.
do you craft vibranium?
Yeah, you start hitting it with a hammer, it absorbs all of the impact, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you? I mean, I
Yeah.
guess melt it down. I mean,
It doesn't make. As I'm
yeah.
thinking about it, this show makes absolutely no sense.
Right.
None. But
Well,
okay, I disagree with you guys about Golden Lion. Okay.
okay.
Simply because I feel like it is historical for for one society to come in and say, hey, you know what? I know you're enjoying your best life as you see it, but I think your best life should be like my life.
Mhm.
So now I'm gonna give you a job that you never wanted, which is to be subservient to me,
Mhm.
and now you're living your best life.
Mhm.
And these someone's over there like, hey, I have 5304s before. Now it's just me, and I'm like sweeping the dungeon, right?
Mhm.
And this other dude's like, I gave you purpose. No,
Yeah.
you didn't. So yeah, I don't I agree with what you guys are saying, but I
Mhm.
felt like the Golden Lion was a
He's a
jabroni.
punk. He's
Yeah.
a jabroni.
Yeah,
Well, dude, it was just like Killmonger's dad. He was selling drugs, bro, and he was selling
Yeah.
weapons. I
that's
think,
true.
dude. So
That's
you know,
true. Yeah.
I think because what I'm starting to see is like Wakanda, the way they make it sound, they have a certain structure of where they all should be in life, and when they get a little taste, you ever watch that movie Kingpin? It's like an older
The
movie, but
bowling
like,
movie?
The
yeah.
bowling. Okay.
You
Never
remember
seen
when
it.
he got the Amish? The Amish guy could bowl really well, so
Right.
then he took him and he trained him. He wanted to become professional. So the dude he started knowing what drinking was, drugs was, and sex workers and all that stuff. And he changed the way he was, and he didn't want to go back to being Amish. And I feel like someone in Wakanda is the same thing. When they leave out, most of them are like, I kind of don't want to go back, even though they have the best resources, technology,
Right.
and everything they have to offer than anybody on the planet. What does that say when someone doesn't want to go back or they want to stay where they're at and
Right.
and try to make a future other than being inside the Wakanda?
That's a good point.
One thing in episode 1 that I noticed too that was kind of, it was trying to be, I don't know, maybe poetic. You went with the classic eye for an eye. Nani got her eye cut out by the Golden Lion. And so what did she do? She took his eye.
Hmm.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't know she lost her eye.
Yeah, he
I looked
sliced her
down
right
at my.
across the eye. She's like, she looked like Zorro.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought she just got cut, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
she's
me
wearing
too.
an eye patch.
Right, me too. Then I was like, is she like a Nick Fury predecessor? That's what I thought at some point. Because like her job is literally the same as Nick Fury's, and she has that patch.
Facts. Facts.
So
I
she's
didn't think about that.
devolved
That's
to where
pretty
she
good.
only has one eye and she
Yeah.
passes it down generation, or maybe it
Yeah.
skips a generation. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. So that's episode 1. What
Mhm.
was it called again, Alfonso?
That was Into the Lion's Den,
Lion's
and
Den?
not
Okay.
Nani was the main character.
Okay. Now give us
Noni.
episode 2. What do we have?
Episode 2. This is Legends and Lies. All right. This is dealing with Memnon, who's kind of like the buddy of Achilles. He's actually his actual name is Bakai, his Wakandan name, but in this undercover work, he's Memnon. And Odysseus sends him and all the Greeks after Troy, and they're trying to take down Troy. I was like, this is a Trojan horse story. Next thing you know, they're building the Trojan horse. I'm like, I guess this is the Trojan horse story. So it was pretty cool because they showed how great of a combatant Achilles was. Like they always say he is. Like all the stories, just they rave about Achilles. And I mean, I'm sure you guys seen Troy with Brad Pitt and all, and it was so well done. I really enjoyed a lot of the fight scenes in this. It was exciting to see a story from a different angle too, and then to have it turn around to where like he was Memnon or Bakai was a traitor, and it just the way everything went down, it was just like, oh man, that guy was your brother a minute ago, and you're just gonna leave him to be killed because your nation tells you like no matter what you need to get this artifact. Which in the first episode it was what was it? It was all the technology, but in this episode it was a pendant that Helen of Troy wore, so that's what he was after. So what do you guys think about this episode?
Here's where I have an issue, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your best friend, you can't just say, hey, look, Achilles, where I come from, they stole something from my country.
Yeah.
And it's around that prince's neck. So I'm going to help you help me. That's where I find the story is not good for me. Like the whole episode, I was just thinking, man, I can't believe they fell for that little Trojan horse. That's what I kept thinking. Like, because every time, even when I watched the one with Brad Pitt, I was thinking, how do you fall for that? Like,
Yeah.
you're just gonna accept they've been trying to conquer you for like, I don't know, months on end, and they give you that, and you're like, not, you're gonna think it's okay. Like, you don't think it's kind of weird. I don't know. I just digress. You're gonna have a wooden horse in there. You've never seen something like that before. You're like, oh, let's just bring it inside.
It's a
Like,
trophy.
yeah. I don't understand that, but like, I thought the character was, he was buff. He reminded me of like a Luke Cage type of character.
Mhm.
It was kind of dope, but you end up killing your best friend for the thing. It just makes you think like, what are these war dogs, bro? They're like in time, different times, changing the course of history, bro. Because you legit saying he killed Achilles, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, was it Greece? I think it was Greece, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't Greece. It was who were they fighting against?
Troy.
It was Greece.
Troy.
Oh, Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like, you're part of history. You're changing that. Like, not only are you getting back to artifact, you're writing history at the same time. Like, you're like a time bandit.
Such a-
Yeah, dude.
But that was just the thing. The biggest flaw with Wakanda is their principles and the fact that like you have to be secretive. You have to get this back. You can't tell anybody who you are and where you're from. And like it unfolds.
So there was just so much wrong with this episode. Okay, first of all, I couldn't help but think, wow, is that like Kevin Hart's large ancestor? That's all I thought through the entire episode. Shout out to Kevin Hart, okay? Because that was just Kevin Hart. So
Yeah.
to Joe's point, hey man, I'm gonna help you, but in my mission, I have to get this one thing,
Mhm.
and then you'll never see me again.
Yeah.
Really? I don't have to tell you where I'm going, and I'm gonna clue you in on my plan. What? You mean we
Yeah.
can both win?
Right.
So dumb.
And you saved my life, and now I'm just angry at you, and I want to kill you. Like, you saved my life. Like best friends don't talk like that. Like, bro, you saved my life.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of secret do you have? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Let
And
me
it's
help
like,
you.
yeah. Like, what was your did any? And then you're gonna kill me, and then I'll be like, was it all a lie? No, it wasn't. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. This episode was slow.
Yeah.
It was preposterous.
Mhm.
This to me was the absolute worst episode of the 4 because I did not care about anything that was going on. Okay,
Right.
nothing. I didn't like the character. I thought the whole bringing in Achilles thing was unnecessary because it's like, what was it, Heroes and Lies? So now,
Mhm.
to Joe's point, so now you're just trying to rewrite history? Why? We gained nothing from that. Nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. None of us walked away from that thinking, well, Achilles really died because he was trying to keep that amulet from the war dog of Wakanda.
Mhm.
That episode was garbage, man. Just garbage. That's at that point, I told Joe, I said, you know what? Episodes 3 and 4 get better because there was nowhere to go but up at that point, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, but episode 2 did give us the return of Nani from episode 1 as an old lady with an eye patch.
Mhm.
So she was the one that, Bakai was reporting to. So that was kind of neat. I
No,
mean,
it wasn't. Okay, here's why.
I thought it was better than the first episode.
Okay. The problem with that was you introduce her as being this, I'll just say, Nick Fury-esque character,
Right.
Mhm.
and they never carry that through later on.
No.
So
It was
it's
a
like
waste of time.
you introduce someone or a concept like, hey, I'm the person who tells people to go out, and have these missions, and they could have continued along where it's like, and at some point, Nani trained this person, and that person became the new. They didn't do that. It was so throwaway, bro. It was like in credits of all of Phase 4. That's what that was, dude.
Yeah.
I think they implied that there was always going to be somebody in charge. Like 3 and 4 didn't show us who exactly was in charge, but the people there did report to somebody. So
Mhm.
You know what? I implied I had $1 million, but I checked my bank account and it wasn't there. So
Yeah.
You got $1 million liquidate. You know, if you liquidate everything, I'm sure you at least got $1 million.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna sell all these rabbit figures. That's worth $1 million.
10, 10, 10, give me 20, 20, 20.
Yeah. So Alfonso,
Yes.
let's start being positive about the Eyes of Wakanda.
Let's get it on.
Okay, Joe, Alfonso, can you explain the episode, and then Joe, I'm gonna let you take it, bro, because you like this one. So go ahead, Alfonso.
Episode 3, Lost and Found. All right. This one stars Basha, and Jirani is his love interest as they wake up together one morning. What's the name of that place? Kung Lao, or something like that, in the mountains.
Yeah.
And they're So you have Basha who's there, and clearly he's a ladies' man. He's there, and clearly he's there to get some kind of prize. And turns out that it just happens to be the tongue of a jade dragon, which is the dragon. What is it? The dragon sculpture that holds the power of the Iron Fist. So it's like we slowly but surely unveil the fact that the Iron Fist is in this episode, which was done so well. The martial arts were amazing. I watched every single little move, everything that transpired. It was just like so. It was done really well. I was very happy with it. So I won't go too much into it. Joe, I'll let you explain a little more of it.
I mean, I just like this episode. I thought it was dope because it has an Iron Fist and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like how they intertwined both of them like in the same time period, let you know that they're who the Iron Fist was in that time period. But you know, let's just make a character that's irresponsible and a womanizer and doesn't care about anybody. And in the end, let's just bring him back and go, you know what? You're right. I should have been there for you. I should have been here for you. This classic lazy writing for me. But I did enjoy it a lot better. Like to your point, Alfred, like the action scenes were pretty dope. You know, it let you know the Iron Fist was pretty badass. Again, it's just like, so at least you know in that time period where I guess Wakanda only has spaceships. So it lets you know like how much ahead of tech. If you look at the time, how much more further ahead they are in technology, right? And so that was pretty cool to see. But then you fast forward to Black Panther. And where they're at now, you think they'd be further. They'd be further along, right? Because they were just a little bit ahead of like Stark, and that's what it seemed like to me. You know, like when Shuri was like, "Oh, you didn't try to do it this way," and I didn't think about that. You know, like it looked like it wasn't. They weren't that far off from it, anyways. Where if you build a spaceship back then, you should be super far. But I guess you can't. I don't know. I digress. So that's just me, just
not
creating plot
right,
holes.
Joe. I think last episode, Joe, you had talked about Black Panther going into space, and he's kind of like colonized outer space.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the MCU needs to sort of acknowledge in order to say, you know what, Wakanda's way ahead of Earth, way ahead of everything else. Yeah. Otherwise, to your point, like, would y'all just take a vacation? Like, did all your scientists go somewhere?
They got comfortable with how they were living, and the rest of the world caught up. Or was getting on the brink of catching up.
Yeah. Right. I thought this episode was great in the sense that, hey, you brought in an Iron Fist. She was great. Technically, they didn't disrespect the Iron Fist as far as like, oh, and he fought her to a standstill. And no, bro, you lost, right?
She was whooping him down.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. The way that they did that. I'm still like, how did he find Kung Lao? Because it's a hidden city, right?
I guess his spaceship went down or something. He was in the snow getting ready to die, and she saved him.
Right.
And so
they got to have some kind of detector.
Yeah,
because he was on the right track.
Yeah. But also, like, if you're spending that much time and the person saves you, and you actually have feelings for each other, you can't just say, "Hey, I'm from so and so. I just need that tongue." I mean, because she just remembered, she said, "You need this." All you had to do was ask me.
Exactly.
Again, it's like it makes you think Wakanda thinks everybody else is stupid because they're trying to hide the technology that they don't want anyone else to get because they're going to come back, and you're finding out not all of them are bad like that dude from Black Panther. I can't remember his name, the guy with the gun. Where she was just like, "Yo, if you would have just asked me, I would have just took it out and give it to you anytime you asked for it. I was just trying to see where you're at,
right.
you know."
Yeah.
And I think that's what the series did the most, was show how Wakanda's ideals were incorrect.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Joe. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's just what I was going to say. I just wanted to interject with that.
No,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, you guys are bringing up a really interesting point because that's the entire theme of Black Panther.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, hey, Ryan Coogler. By the way, I don't think we mentioned this before. Ryan Coogler made this, and I mean, here's my problem with DC kind of burying this. And I said this with Ironheart. You have a person who has made the most highly rated movie of the year, basically like a cinematic phenomenon, and you don't play that up like, hey
Yeah.
everybody, now he did this, and so you want to watch our product here. They buried it. But I guess my point is, getting back on point, is that that was Ryan Coogler's point in Black Panther, but he did it so much better in Black Panther than he did in this, because in this it's like, dude, th- nothing the Wakandans do makes any sense at all, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
I, I wonder how much he actually had to do with it, though. If he was just a name on a
Yeah.
paper to get,
Right.
because he didn't write, he didn't direct. He was just a producer. So it's like, did they come to him with the final draft to say, hey, you want to give this to Kevin Feige? Who knows? It's like, was it just because, hey, we want to put his name on it?
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I feel like at this point Ryan Coogler has a reputation,
Hmm.
and I don't see him signing off on something that was just completely garbage.
Right.
So I'm actually confused now that you say that, Alfonso, because it's like, I feel like he went to them and said, "This is the theme that I want to make."
Right.
Bet. And then he let them go. And they came back to him and they were like, "We're done." And he was like, "You read the words on the paper, but you didn't understand the assignment." And that's what we got. So I'm confused a little bit, because I feel like you're right, Alfonso. He wouldn't greenlight this, but they were done, so we didn't have a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
that's why
don't
they had
know,
such a
dude.
soft reveal.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
maybe. I don't know, dude. I saw
yeah.
that thing on TikTok where that dude was like, his brother was like, yeah, I was watching Sinners and I didn't like that movie. And the guy was like, what? He goes, yeah, man. He goes, what was it about? He's all, with black people playing music. Okay, what else? And vampires. Okay. He's all, Lost Boys and stuff like that as a vampire movie. I was expecting black vampires going on plantations, killing the white owners and stuff like that. He's all, I didn't get any of that. So he's all, I was confused. So
Yeah.
maybe he read that script too at the Wakanda. Eye of Wakanda was
Yeah.
just like, I'm confused.
Alfonso, are you ready to bring us home with episode 4?
Episode 4, The Last Panther, or as I like to call it, Predator versus War of the Worlds.
Hmm,
I mean,
it's a good one.
you know what I mean? Because, like, all right, you first start off with Tafari and Kuda. Tafari is like a young prince, kind of like, T'Challa was when he was a young prince. But they're out and they're the war dogs in this episode, and they're trying to get this artifact, which is funny because this artifact to me didn't look like it had vibranium. And if you paid attention to the first Black Panther movie, you recognize the artifact as the one that Michael B. Jordan found in that museum, and that he was going to steal.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes, they're trying to find it, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, this, I mean, can only be described as a predator comes out, but the same color as the Black Panther, same color structure, kind of weaponry, but it's making the same chittery noises. It's like, oh, hey, wait, Disney owns Hulu too. Let's get those noises and we'll put them over this Black Panther and we'll make it the same, right? And then you got this Black Panther from the future who's like, hey, there's this pivotal point. It's not like a nexus point, but I don't know what they call it, an elbow or a bracket or something that we need to make sure happens so that my future doesn't happen, so that the world can go on. And she's like, you can't take this artifact, you got to put it back. And then because in the future these creatures come, and I swear it was exactly like War of the Worlds. You had like the one eyeball. I mean, I don't know if it was like Ice Cube's War of the Worlds because I hadn't seen that one yet, but the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds, you know, and it's blasting things left and right, people left and right. Um, so yeah, it was like a bleak future. Like the heroes didn't come together. It was like the heroes went and fought these things and lost, as according to what she said. And then Wakanda went after these things and lost. But Wakanda and the heroes together would have probably kept them at bay. And I don't even think this is a species that's been around the Marvel universe before. They should have at least used the Brood, man. Give my X-Men some love, you know.
I actually thought about that. The Brood would have been a good idea.
Yes.
Here's
I thought you were
where
going to say something,
I
Alfonso.
here's where
Yeah,
I
go
have to
for it.
taste like, man, like when it started off pretty good, and then when Homeboy stole the axe, I was like, oh hey, that's the same axe from Black Panther. Then I started to think, just like those guns from the Predator, huh? Let's bring it back and get people excited because it's the gun from Predator too. You
Yeah.
know, and you sit there and wonder, and then to Alf's point, you see the Predator there, and then you start to wonder, well, if you're from the future, why are you attacking your own people? You can't just say, hey, I'm from the future. Hey, you end up
Yeah.
telling them anyways, right? Hey, I'm from the future. And where it lost me was, let's put that artifact back because it's going to prevent whatever it is trying to kill him. But it ends with Michael B. Jordan staring at like the axe, and I'm like, so what did they stop? Like, I'm confused. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, because if
The
you say you have to put it back in there so everybody knows who they are, so they can all band together to fight, then you flash forward, none of that happened.
the axe was the catalyst for oh, you guys still there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I just did something to my screen. I can't see you guys. But
Yeah, you're
anyway,
dark.
the axe was the catalyst for the conflict between Killmonger and Black Panther,
Correct.
which ultimately is how Black Panther took on the philosophy of not being an isolationist. So
Right.
unless if Killmonger doesn't steal the axe back, Black Panther doesn't happen. If Black Panther doesn't happen, um, then Wakanda never exposes itself to the rest of the world. So that's why it was important.
Exactly.
But, okay. First of all, Joe's 100% right with why do you have to do that thing where at first we fight, right?
Yeah.
Like, Wakanda, stop with the secrets, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just jump out and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I need
Yeah.
your help. We don't
Right.
have to fight first, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And here, okay, this really bothered me. And as we're talking about this, I'm realizing like they did this crap through the whole movie. You're a Black Panther from the future, and your tech is garbage.
Yeah.
It has not improved
Mm-hmm.
since T'Challa's tech.
Yeah, bro. The absorbing the energy and throwing it back.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing, bro. Like, what? Okay, I get what you're saying. The whole chain event for them to expose who they do. You're never gonna bring those aliens again, or whatever those things are. You're never gonna see them again.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
why
yeah.
even
You're
do
100%
that,
right.
dude? Why even do
Yeah,
that? It's just a waste of time.
I agree.
The idea of them chasing things is cool, right? The artifacts. I think that's cool. If you would have just explained how some of it got, if you would have started off an episode and do like a little flashback or something, to explain how that particular item got away,
Mm-hmm.
and then do like a little flash forward or whatever you want to do is cool. If you wanted to connect each episode, I get you're trying to do like time skips and stuff like that. I mean that's cool. That's all cool and all, but when it doesn't make sense. It's just so random, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, let's just see another person trying to chase down an artifact, which is like, so basically Wakanda is Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking right now.
Yeah. And you understood why Indiana Jones was chasing all of those artifacts,
Yeah.
but you have no idea,
Mhm.
in this particular case, how these artifacts ended up where they were.
Mhm.
And it's like one of those things where someone has a good idea, but doesn't take the
Mhm.
time to
Right.
actually flesh
Mhm.
it out, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think at some point I started comparing this to Killer of Killers,
Mm-hmm.
simply because I felt like Killer of Killers was similar in the sense it's animated. It's trying to link to a established franchise, but Killer of Killers was very cohesive.
Right.
Whereas this was just like I'm not a fan of the animation Killer of Killers, but man, that animation was so distracting. Like, bro, Nani had a pointed head, right?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, like I don't know what they were going for. That took me out of my element for that entire first episode. Every
Mhm.
time I looked at Nani and she had that pointed head, I was like, bro,
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Facts.
yeah,
Yeah, the animation was bugging me too, bro.
yeah.
See, you know what was funny about this? Like both of you complained about like Wakanda, what are you doing? Stop this. It's like just talk to the people. But you see, even that's your complaint. But the thing is, that was the message of this whole show. Wakanda, you need to stop this crap and share your stuff with the world. Get together with everybody. So it's funny because like it gave you guys that feeling, and it, you got to recognize that that's what it was doing. That's what it was trying to do. So that's my first point. My second point, to bring an X-Men reference to this, the voice actor for Ebo in episode 3, the guy that was arguing with Basha about bringing somebody over, that was the voice of Bishop from X-Men 97. Isaac Robinson Smith.
And point number 3.
That was my 2.
Oh, okay.
I had to.
So
Yeah.
I'll say this, and I'll let you guys sort of round out this episode. I cannot recommend this. I want to be very supportive of Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
I feel like he did a great job with Ironheart. Obviously, he did a great job with Sinners, and I feel like he's a director, producer, whatever you want to call him, that has a lot to say and a lot to make you think. Whereas this movie, or I'm sorry, this show, these 4 episodes didn't leave me with anything that made me want to have a conversation later until this podcast where all I did was complain for 42 minutes and 21 seconds. So I'd say don't watch it. Alfonso, what say you?
I would say watch it. I really liked it. I'm sorry you guys didn't.
Yeah.
I believe there's something for everybody, and I mean especially if you're not going to watch it at all, at least watch episode 3, because the episode where you've got the Iron Fist who sneaks onto the back of his plane, flies to Wakanda, infiltrates Wakanda, takes everybody down, and then sneaks back home after giving him the tongue, the dragon tongue. Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it had potential, right? And I know you're shocked that Ryan did, if he did endorse this. I'm like, he endorsed Black Panther 2, and I didn't enjoy that at all, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he bounced back from Sinners. It's a great movie, but if I'm being real, like Black Panther 2, I didn't even enjoy it at all, man. I thought it was whack. I watched it one time in the theater and never watched it again. So I can see him doing the same thing with the series, right? But if the visuals is okay, but I just think the animation and the plot holes, there is better things. If you had a choice, watch Ironheart. Between the two,
Well,
just watch Ironheart.
This concludes this episode of the Nerd World Order broadcast. So until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, I am NWO.
We are NWO.
Nerds redefined. Booyah!